Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video tutorial for Maverick Render. This time we're going to do an advanced example of lighting and animation in a jewelry scene. Let's watch the rendered video in Maverick with everything we'll be learning. You can see complex camera movements, depth of field animation, diamonds with animated glare, and in general everything expected in a professional video to showcase your jewelry designs. We're going to start from the beginning with our scene in Rhino, which consists of 2 rings, as you've already seen. The only important thing to keep in mind here is to separate the objects of both rings by layers so we can easily separate and select them in Maverick. Here you can see how we've easily separated some layers. The next thing we'll do is use our Rhino bridge to send the scene to Maverick using the corresponding button. We wait a few seconds for the scene to be sent, and Maverick will receive it shortly. Here it is now. As you can see, we have the rings with their materials by color. For now, we're going to place the animation panel at the bottom of the interface to gain more workspace. Now we go to the Objects panel and conveniently group the models. We select the appropriate assemblies for gems and metal from each ring using the Control key and create a general assembly that we will easily rename. Once we have both rings separated, we use the context menu to disconnect them from the single assembly they belong to. Now we have the 2 rings perfectly separated. Now let's apply materials. We go to the material library and look for gems in the jewelry section. We select the gem assemblies with the Control key and use the context menu with right-click on the diamond material to apply it to the selection. For the metals, we can directly drop the gold material onto the metal assemblies. Let's continue by selecting a lighting ambience. In the lighting library, we recommend that you start by using the white lightbox ambiences. You can drop some in and check the reflections on the metals and how the diamonds look along with the overall aesthetic. Get used to using the purge button after you've dropped several materials or ambiences to remove unused nodes and clean up the scene for better optimization. Now we're going to use some advanced lighting strategies for jewelry. We select the IBL and press the N key to send it to the nodal editor to work with nodes. In this scene, we want to animate the refraction environment for the diamonds separately, so we'll use the IBL overrides. We activate the refraction override, and you can see how the color overwrites the refraction of the diamonds. We're going to create a map that works well for the diamonds, aiming for contrast between dark and bright areas. To do this, we create a gradient light and configure it to make a pattern. We increase its brightness and contrast, which is what will provide the lighting we need in the diamonds. Once it's created, we need it to be applied spherically in our scene. We create a spherical transform node and connect it to the transform input of the gradient light. We configure the spherical transform by changing its projection and the theta and phi values to make it complete. By double-clicking on the node thumbnail, you can see the node converted to spherical projection. We're going to continue configuring some values by double-clicking on each node to access their properties. In this case, we raise the altitude a bit. Now we can connect the node to the refraction input in the IBL. We can see how the diamonds now have a fantastic appearance with contrast and realism. They seem too bright, so we're going to lower the intensity of the refraction environment to a value we prefer. Lastly, we're going to do something necessary in many jewelry scenes due to how they're modeled exclude the metal from the diamonds so they don't intersect. As is happening here, we select the diamond material and go to Trace Sets to activate Exclude and set ID equal to 2. Now we assign this ID to the metal objects. We go to the objects, select the assemblies, and disable the Inherit from Parent option to be able to set the ID to 2. Now we can see how the diamonds exclude the metal, appearing completely clean without any metal intersections. Now they might be a bit too shiny, so we're going to reduce the brightness and contrast in the gradient light and the refraction power to control it to our liking. We inspect the scene a bit and see that everything is working as we like. Now let's do a bit of post-production to enhance the look of the scene. We increase the contrast and see how it improves substantially. And to finish this setup, we're going to configure the glare. We move to a position close to the models and activate it. Now we see the glare all over the scene, and that's not what we're aiming for. We're going to use the Edger remap options. We activate low end and raise the parameters to the maximum. We activate show clipping, and we'll see the areas where the glare would apply. We activate high end and raise the cutoff until we isolate the areas we want. Now, if we increase the multiplier, we see it only affects specific parts of the scene. We'll raise the refraction intensity a bit so some areas appear on our diamonds. We inspect the scene and activate show clipping to verify. By adjusting the multiplier, we increase or decrease the effect. Now as we navigate, you'll see a very bright moment until the glare stabilizes. So we're going to disable it for now to continue working on the scene's animation.